Many seniors believe staying active means doing the same workouts they did decades ago. But after 60, what once built strength can quietly tear it down. In my clinic, I've seen strong, capable men and women lose months of progress from just one unsafe move. The good news? The research now shows us exactly which exercises to avoid, and the three safer ones that can rebuild strength, balance, and confidence at any age. Stay with me, because what you'll learn next may surprise you. For most of my senior patients, the real fear isn't injury, it's losing independence. One wrong movement can mean weeks of recovery, or worse, the end of simple joys like gardening or lifting a grandchild. But evidence from over 80 clinical studies shows the body's repair systems still work beautifully when we move smart. Today we'll explore the three exercises every senior should avoid, and the three evidence-based moves that keep your muscles strong, your spine safe, and your balance steady. 1. Barbell back squats. The spinal trap. You've probably heard it 1,000 times. Squats are the king of exercises, and for decades they were. But for older adults, the classic barbell back squat can quietly turn into a trap for the spine. In my 25 years of clinical practice, I've seen strong, determined seniors, just like Robert, a 72-year-old retired mechanic, walk into my clinic frustrated and in pain after trying to stay strong with the same exercises they did in their 40s. Robert's back gave out mid-squat, leaving him with months of stiffness and fear of falling again. Here's the biological truth. As we age, spinal discs lose height and hydration, becoming stiffer and less able to absorb compression. Placing a barbell on the upper back adds vertical force through each disc, like stacking heavy boxes on a sagging shelf. When balance wavers even slightly, that pressure shifts to the lower spine, and one wrong tilt can cause lasting strain. Research from Clinical Gerontology, 2011, found that adults over 60 experience more spinal loading and joint stress during heavy barbell squats, increasing the risk of back injury and falls. The study also noted that only 1 in 4 reported minor discomfort when exercises were properly adapted, meaning safety isn't about stopping movement, it's about changing the angle of load. Instead of the barbell, use your chair as your safeguard. Try slow, controlled chair squats, lowering until you lightly touch the seat, then rising again. Or use seated leg extensions with resistance bands to keep your thighs strong without spinal compression. Think of your spine like an old oak tree, deeply rooted, still powerful, but no longer needing storms to prove its strength. But that's not even the surprising part, because the next exercise on our avoid list might be one you thought was good for your heart, until you hear what it does to your joints. 2. High impact. Plyometrics, the joint shockers. If you've ever seen younger folks jumping onto boxes at the gym and thought, maybe I should try that to keep my heart strong, you're not alone. Many of my senior patients believe the same, until they learned what those jumps do inside the body after 60. When Robert's wife Ellen joined a Silver Fitness Challenge, she was told that jumping squats and hop drills would wake up her metabolism. But 2 weeks later, her knees felt like they were filled with gravel. She wasn't weak, her joints were just asking for a different kind of respect. Here's why. After 60, bone density naturally declines, and the soft cartilage cushioning our joints becomes thinner, less hydrated, and slower to repair. High-impact plyometric exercises, like jump squats, burpees, or box jumps, create sudden, rapid forces that can exceed what the aging knee or ankle can safely absorb. A Cochrane review, 2011, of over 6,700 older adults found that while regular exercise reduces falls by 21%, impact-heavy routines actually increase the rate of musculoskeletal injury when performed without modification. It's not that movement is dangerous, it's that the wrong type of force at the wrong time can do more harm than good. In my clinic, I recommend replacing explosive jumps with heel raises or gentle step-ups using a low stair or sturdy platform. These activate the same muscle groups, calves, glutes, and thighs, but with steady, joint-friendly control. Think of your knees like antique door hinges. They still open beautifully, but you wouldn't slam them shut over and over, right? Oil them gently, and they'll last for decades. Ignore this one adjustment, and you may undo the progress you just made. Because the next exercise isn't about impact, it's about twist. And that's where real danger hides. 3. Weighted Russian twists, the disc destroyers. It looks simple enough, right? Sit on the floor, lean back, twist side to side, holding a weight. You see younger gym goers doing it and think, that could help my waistline. But for seniors, this single movement, the weighted Russian twist, can quietly tear at one of the body's most fragile structures, the lumbar discs. Let me share what happened to Helen, a 68-year-old retired teacher who came to me after a core challenge class. She didn't fall or lift anything heavy. She simply twisted once, felt a pop, and couldn't get up without pain for weeks. Here's why. The spine isn't built to rotate under load. In younger adults, the discs between vertebrae act like moist, flexible cushions. But as we age, those cushions dry out, thinning and stiffening, what we call degenerative disc changes. When you combine twisting, bending, and weight, it's like wringing out an old sponge that's already cracking at the edges. One strong twist can create a shearing force that presses directly on the nerve roots. Exercise physiologists classify rotational core moves with weight as high risk beyond age 60, especially for those with even mild disc degeneration. Studies show these twisting loads are one of the top triggers for lumbar disc herniation in older adults. So, what's safer? Standing torso rotations without weights or gentle seated core activations using a resistance band? These keep your abdominal muscles engaged without forcing the spine into torque. Your spine isn't a rope to twist, it's a column to protect. Treat it that way, and it will carry you upright for years to come. But here's the good news. Because what comes next flips the story. The exercises that build strength safely can actually make your muscles respond better than they did decades ago. 4. Chair-based strength training, safe power restoration. When Robert first returned to exercise after his back injury, he felt defeated. How can I get stronger if I can't even stand without worrying? He asked. What surprised him, and many of my senior patients, is that the path back to strength often starts with something as humble as a chair. Here's what the science says. A BMC Geriatrics 2020 meta-analysis found that chair-based resistance training provides equal muscle strength improvements to traditional standing routines, but with dramatically lower fall risk. Why? Because the chair stabilizes your posture while still challenging your muscles. It gives you control, the most important ingredient for progress after 60. Biologically, this works because movement, even when seated, activates your muscle protein synthesis machinery. Imagine your muscles as construction sites. The builders, your muscle fibers, slow down with age, but the blueprints, the genetic instructions, are still there. When you push or pull resistance bands from a stable chair, you're giving those builders a clear signal to get back to work, safely and steadily. In my clinic, I recommend 2 to 3 sessions per week, performing 8 to 12 repetitions of key movements. Seated rows for your back, leg extensions for your thighs, and chest presses for your upper body. Use light weights or resistance bands. Rest between sets and focus on smooth, steady motion. Within 6 to 8 weeks, many seniors notice stronger legs, easier transfers, and renewed confidence walking on uneven ground. Your chair isn't a sign of limitation. It's your foundation for independence. Like a trusted friend, it steadies you while your strength rebuilds from within. But what happens when we stand up from that chair and challenge balance itself? That's where real transformation begins, and where falls start to fade into the background. 5. Single limb. Balance training. The fall shield. When I ask my senior patients what they fear most, the answer isn't getting old, it's falling. The ground feels farther away after 70, not just physically, but emotionally. Yet one simple daily practice can train your body to find its footing again. Single limb balance training. In my 25 years of clinical work, I've seen this small habit turn fear into confidence. Margaret, 74, started holding onto her kitchen counter for 10 seconds at a time, lifting one foot just an inch off the ground. Within a month, she could balance for nearly a minute without support. The glow on her face wasn't about fitness, it was freedom. Biologically, balance training strengthens the vestibular system, your inner ear's balance control, and the proprioceptive network, which are the sensors in your muscles and joints that tell your brain where you are in space. Think of it like updating your body's GPS. The more often you recalibrate, the sharper your map becomes. Evidence from the Cochrane Review, 2011, showed that regular balance practice reduces fall risk by up to 30% in community-dwelling seniors. The key is frequency. A few minutes every day works better than an hour once a week. Here's your self-check. Stand near a sturdy chair or wall. Lift one foot slightly. Hold for 10 seconds. Rest. Switch sides. Gradually progress toward 1 minute per leg. Over time, your body learns calm control, not panic, in the moments that matter most. Balance isn't just about muscle, it's about memory. Teaching your body that it's still capable, still steady. But the journey doesn't end there, because when strength meets control, one last movement ties it all together. And it starts right at the wall in front of you. 6. Wall push-ups. Functional strength for everyday life. For many seniors, push-ups bring back memories of youth. Strong arms, steady shoulders, the feeling of power. But what if that same strength could return without the strain? The wall push-up is one of the most underestimated tools in senior wellness. It's not about military training. It's about reclaiming everyday strength. The kind you use to rise from a chair, hug a grandchild, or carry a bag of groceries. In my clinic, I've watched this movement restore confidence faster than almost any other. One patient, George, 69, began doing wall push-ups twice a week. Within 2 months, he noticed something remarkable. No more shoulder ache when lifting dishes, and his posture stood taller, naturally. Here's why it works. Traditional floor push-ups can overload aging wrists and shoulders. The wall variation changes the angle of resistance, keeping stress low while still activating the chest, triceps, and core stabilizers. Think of the wall as your exercise partner, steady, patient, and always available. Scientific reviews, including data summarized in BMC Geriatrics 2020, confirm that incline push-ups preserve muscle mass and joint integrity in adults over 60. Performing 2 to 3 sets of 10 to 20 repetitions, 2 or 3 times per week, helps maintain the strength needed for independent living. To test your progress, step a little farther from the wall each week. The greater the angle, the more your muscles engage. Always move slowly, breathe evenly, and stop if pain appears. Strength doesn't come from speed, it comes from consistency. And this is where it all connects. Your wall push-ups build the upper body, your chair squats, power your legs, and your balance work ties it all together. 3 small steps, 1 steady body. But before we close, let's take a moment to reflect on what these movements truly give back. Not just strength, but the quiet confidence to keep living fully. After decades of guiding seniors through recovery and renewal, I've learned something profound. Strength after 60 isn't about lifting heavier weights or pushing harder. It's about listening to your body, giving it the right kind of challenge at the right pace. Robert found that balance again after his back injury. Margaret regained her confidence with just 10 seconds a day. And George rediscovered his posture, not by forcing his body, but by meeting it where it was. Each of them learned the same truth. Your body still wants to get stronger. It just needs movements that respect time and biology. Remember, inactivity is far more dangerous than exercise itself. The studies prove it. Seniors who stay active reduce fall risk by up to 30%, improve muscle strength by 20 to 30%, and even boost quality of life scores by 40%. Motion is medicine, but it's the right motion that keeps you independent. So maybe tomorrow, instead of skipping your workout out of fear, try one of these safe steps: a chair squat, a single leg hold, or a gentle wall push-up. They don't just build muscle, they rebuild confidence. Now, I'd love to hear from you. What movement still makes you feel young? Share it in the comments. Your idea might inspire someone else. If this helped you, give it a like. It helps this community grow. And subscribe, because next week we'll explore 3 morning stretches that protect your spine. Always check with your healthcare provider before starting new exercises. But remember this: your body isn't done yet. It's just waiting for your next move. Maybe that move starts tomorrow morning.